My friend's hand trembled as she pushed the panel back into place. We didn't scream. We couldn't. We were paralyzed by a terror so pure, so primal, that it stole the air from our lungs. The scratching sounds we'd been hearing for months. The missing items. The feeling of being watched. It all crashed down on us in one horrifying realization. We weren't alone in our apartment. Our landlord was living in our walls. Your home is supposed to be your sanctuary, the one place in the world you can feel safe. This is a story about what happens when that safety is violated in the most unthinkable way. If you believe that monsters deserve to be destroyed, hit that like button and subscribe, because this isn't just a story of justice. This is a story of nuclear revenge. My two best friends, Sarah and Emily, and I moved into our first real apartment last year. We were college students, excited for a taste of freedom. The place was the downstairs unit of an old, converted house. It was charming, affordable, and close to campus. Our landlord, a man in his late 50s named Mr. Carlson, lived in the apartment upstairs. First, he seemed like the perfect landlord. A little quirky, maybe a bit lonely, but completely harmless. He'd bring our mail up to our door, and if a faucet dripped, he was there to fix it within the hour. We honestly thought we'd hit the jackpot. A nice landlord in a great location. What could go wrong? The feeling of safety began to unravel slowly, piece by piece. Started with small things you could easily dismiss. I had a pair of silver earrings my grandmother gave me. One morning, one of them was just gone from my jewelry box. I searched everywhere, blamed myself for being careless. Then, a week later, Sarah's favorite tube of lipstick vanished from her makeup bag. Then Emily's expensive chemistry textbook disappeared from the coffee table. We were three busy, slightly disorganized college students. We just assumed we were losing our minds. Then came the noises. Late at night, when the house was silent, we'd hear them. Faint, dry, scratching sound. Seemed to come from inside the walls. It's just mice, we told each other, trying to rationalize the unsettling sound. We told Mr. Carlson, and he smiled his harmless smile, promising to set traps. But the traps were never sprung, and the scratching continued. It was a faint, unnerving whisper in the dark that reminded us we weren't entirely alone. The paranoia truly set in the day Emily came out of the bathroom after a long shower. She had left her phone face down on her bed. When she returned to her room, her phone was on the nightstand, screen up, and open to her photo gallery. Her blood ran cold. She ran into the living room, wrapped in a towel, her face pale with terror. She knew with absolute certainty she had not left her phone like that. That was the moment the vague unease in our apartment solidified into a single terrifying thought. Someone is coming into our apartment when we're not here. Or worse, when we are. We started living like prisoners in our own home. We'd wedge chairs under our doorknobs at night. We'd put a single strand of tape on our bedroom doors, only to find it broken in the morning, with no sign of forced entry. We felt like we were going insane, doubting our own perceptions, our own sanity. The scratching in the walls seemed to get louder, mocking us. The discovery, when it came, was purely by accident. It was a Tuesday night. We were studying in the living room. Sarah dropped her phone, and it skittered across the hardwood floor, sliding under her bedroom dresser. With a sigh, she got down on her hands and knees to retrieve it. As her fingers searched in the dark, they brushed against something odd on the back wall of her built-in closet. Seemed almost invisible to the eye, but there. Her heart started pounding. She pushed on it, gently at first, then with more force. A small, square panel, no bigger than a shoebox, clicked and popped open. Inside was nothing but darkness. A cramped, dusty space between the walls. She fumbled for her phone's flashlight, her hand shaking. She pointed the beam of light into the void. And in that void, two eyes, wide and unblinking, stared back at her. The scream died in Sarah's throat. She scrambled backwards, her mind refusing to process what she had just seen. She quietly, mechanically, pushed the panel back into place. She stumbled out of her room, her face a mask of pure horror, and whispered two words. He's in the walls. We didn't need to ask who he was. We knew. The scratching, the missing items, the feeling of being watched. It was all him. Our landlord. Our protector. Mr. Carlson. He had been crawling in the spaces between our rooms, watching us sleep, watching us change, listening to our conversations. For months, our home wasn't a home. It was a cage. And we were the exhibits in his private zoo. We huddled together on the couch, wrapped in a single blanket, and called the police. We whispered our story to the dispatcher, terrified he would hear us through the walls. When the police arrived, they were professional, but you could see the look of disgust on their faces. They went upstairs to confront him. He denied everything, playing the part of the confused, harmless old man. But the police were clever. They used a ruse about a gas leak to get into his apartment. And there, hidden in the back of his own bedroom closet, they found it. A narrow, purpose-built door that led into the network of crawlspaces he had created. Inside they found his nest. A small stool, empty water bottles, candy wrappers, and multiple professionally drilled peepholes aimed directly into our bedrooms and our bathroom. And in a small, horrifying collection on a dusty shelf, they found our things. My earring, Sarah's lipstick, Emily's textbook. He wasn't just a voyeur. He was a predator, collector of trophies. He was arrested that night. And for most people that would be enough. Justice. But for us, it wasn't even close. He hadn't just stolen our things. He had stolen our sense of safety, our peace of mind. He had violated us in a way that would leave scars for years. We didn't just want justice. We wanted to ruin him. We wanted to leave him with nothing. And so, we began our nuclear revenge. It was a four-front war. Front 1, the law. We hired the best, most aggressive lawyer we could find. We sued Mr. Carlson for everything imaginable. Invasion of privacy, intentional infliction of emotional distress, theft, negligence. With the police report and the physical evidence, he didn't stand a chance. The court awarded us a massive settlement, enough to pay off a huge portion of our student debt. We took his money. Front 2, his reputation. Emily, our journalism major, took the lead. She wrote a detailed, anonymous article about our ordeal and sent it everywhere. The local paper, city blogs, university forums. She never used his name, but she described the house, the street, and the creepy college landlord, with such precision that everyone in town knew exactly who she was talking about. He became a social leper, a monster in plain sight. We took his name. Front 3, his property. We did some digging. He had converted the house into 2 units himself, without any permits. We sent an anonymous tip to the city's code enforcement office. They swarmed the property. They found dozens of violations: faulty wiring, illegal plumbing, unsafe structural changes. The building was officially condemned, deemed unfit for human habitation. The cost to fix it was astronomical, and thanks to our lawsuit, he was broke. His house, his prized possession, was now a worthless, condemned shell. We took his home. Front 4, his pride. This was the final blow. We learned from his ex-wife, who reached out to us, that his one true love was his collection of rare orchids. He kept them in a small greenhouse in his backyard. One night, during the coldest part of winter, while the house was empty and he was out on bail, a very unfortunate accident occurred. Someone somehow left the greenhouse door unlocked and open. Every single one of his prized, irreplaceable flowers froze solid and died. We took his joy. In the end, he lost everything. His freedom, his money, his home, his reputation. He declared bankruptcy and had to move away, a broken man with nothing. The trauma he inflicted on us is still something we carry, but we are healing. We took the horror he forced upon us, and we didn't just get justice. We got vengeance. We left him with nothing but the dead shell of the life he once had. Your home should be the safest place on earth. If this story sent a chill down your spine, hit that like button to show your support. And tell us in the comments, what do you think was the most satisfying part of this nuclear revenge? And of course, if you want more stories of creeps getting exactly what they deserve, Make sure you subscribe. You won't want to miss what we have in store.